Good morning. Welcome to the Expanded States of Consciousness World Summit. We are so excited to be launching the summit this morning. I hope some of you have already started watching the amazing video presentation today. And this is going to be a guided practice session. My name is Dr. Fleet Mull, and I'll be leading a session of what I call neurosomatic mindfulness, a deeply embodied approach to meditation. And then following me, my friend Michael Stone will lead a session of transformative breathwork, his neurodynamic breathwork. So again, thank you so much for being here. And it's just really exciting to be finally launching this summit. This has been a we've been working on this for a long time. So if you would, find a posture, whatever kind of seating arrangement you have that works for you. Find a posture that you feels relatively uplifted, upright, and at the same time relaxed and sustainable, and awake, and naturally dignified, and so forth. And of course, if for any reasons of physical limitations you need to do this practice lying down or standing up or leaning against the back of a chair for support, please do what works for you. But if you are able to sit up with a relatively upright, uplifted posture, that can be helpful. Good spinal alignment and so forth, shoulders relaxed. For this practice, I teach both eyes open and eyes closed practice. For this practice to begin with, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, because we're going to be really focusing on the body, and especially the internal landscape of the body. And so it may be helpful for you to connect with that by closing your eyes. So I want to just take a minute to describe a little bit about this practice, and then we'll just do it. So again, it's called neurosomatic mindfulness. It's a deeply embodied, neuroscientifically informed approach to classic mindfulness and awareness meditation, and really a very direct approach to both healing and awakening, because it takes us so deeply into the body and involves the body in such a direct way. And we'll be developing an internal neurobiofeedback loop, which will allow our own body-mind system to learn to auto-regulate into profound states of attention stabilization, which then gives us access to profound states of awareness and deep healing, coherence, resonance, and so forth. And we'll begin by, like with most meditations, with self-directed self-regulation. In other words, we'll be making a gentle effort to bring ourselves into the present moment with the focus on the body. But over time, we'll be tapping into the body and the mind, the nervous system, the brain's internal capacity to auto-regulate itself into deep attention stabilization and profound states of awareness, which have tremendous potential for healing and awakening. So this practice itself will serve as an access point to expanded states of consciousness or expanded states of awareness, and all their potential for healing trauma, healing attachment wounds, for expanding our awareness, and literally for awakening, for liberation. At the same time, this practice is a wonderful tool or practice for integrating other types of expanded state experiences, which we're going to be exploring on this summit, whether they are access to psychedelics, psychedelic-assisted therapy, shamanism, plant medicine, transformative breath work, ecstatic dance, hypnotherapy, music, chant, and so forth. So meditation, and in particular this form, neurosomatic mindfulness, is both a direct access point to expanded states of consciousness and a wonderful integration tool for integrating other expanded state experiences. Okay, so that's enough, and we'll jump right in. So having established your posture, I invite you again to close your eyes and to begin gently bringing your attention to the body. To begin with, perhaps bringing your attention to whatever physical sensations are most prominent for you. That could be the contact points between your body and the chair or the cushion, whatever your seating arrangement is. It could be the weight of your clothing, the contact between your clothing and your skin, texture of your clothing. It could be sensations related to the air temperature where you are, or any movement of the air across exposed skin surface areas. And of course, the passage of air across the nostrils and or parted lips with each in-breath and out-breath. In referencing body, I'd like to make it clear that what I'm pointing to is the landscape of actual tactile physical sensation that we call body. We'll be working with physical sensation on the surface of the body, all across the body from head to toe. Our skin is one vast sensory organ, and we experience that sense of touch on the skin through what is called exteroception or external perception. We'll also be working with the internal landscape of perception, of sensation, our ability to feel the body from the inside out, as it were, activating our capacity for interoception, internal perception, or interoceptive awareness. In both cases, we're focused on actual tactile physical sensation. Now, why do I make that point? We have incredibly powerful conceptual minds. One of our great gifts as human beings. And our conceptual mind can be an obstacle to awakening, to direct experience, because our brain and our mind very quickly replaces direct experience with concepts about that experience. So we have a conceptual body. My first meditation teacher called it psychosomatic body or conceptual body. And this is made up of all our thoughts and feelings and memories and images of the body. So here we're making a gentle effort to sort of penetrate beneath that conceptual layer into the direct experience of body, the direct experience of physical sensation, what my teacher called body-body. So I invite you to take a moment to continue to connect the dots with all the sensations you can notice and feel all across the surface of the skin from head to toe, including the hair on the top of your head, your hair follicles, all the sensations on exposed skin surface areas, contact with your clothing, contact with the ground, your feet on the ground, your body in contact with the chair, and so forth. Whatever you can notice and feel all across the body, such that you begin to feel enveloped in a field of exquisite sensate experience, aliveness. And you're really feeling the contact between the body and the space surrounding the body. We generally think of space as empty, but we actually know that the space that we live in is not empty. It's made of gases and so forth. It's energy, and we are energy. So the boundary between our body and the space surrounding us is apparently clear, but also very malleable. But nonetheless, we can feel that and actually feel ourselves held by the space. And I invite you to imagine the space as benevolent. So you're being held by this benevolent space. And by really connecting the dots and feeling that entire external sensate field all across the surface of the skin from head to toe, we begin to feel enveloped in a womb-like structure of exquisite sensate experience that has a quality of benevolence, even loving kindness. Allowing us to relax further and further. So in today's session, we're setting the stage for a deeply embodied approach to the practice. And as we progress through the summit, we'll go further and further with that. And we'll realize the body as a portal into expanded states of consciousness. As always, with any meditation practice, if you find your mind wandering, that's fine. Just gently bring it back. We don't need to have a conversation with ourselves about that. That's actually counterproductive. We just, whatever was arising, we let it go and come back to the body, to actually feeling the body, feeling the sensation directly. I invite you now to begin exploring the internal landscape of the body, the internal sensate landscape of the body. Bringing your attention to whatever sensations you can notice within the body. It could just be the overall weight and mass of the muscles and bones, all the sensations related to the breath, the diaphragm contracting and relaxing, the abdominal muscles contracting and relaxing, the intercostal muscles between the ribs contracting and relaxing, helping us open and close the rib cage with each in-breath and out-breath. That entire flow of the breath, as the breath just flows in and out of the body of its own accord, with that natural wave-like motion. We're just feeling all of those internal sensations, as well as the external sensations of air flowing across the nostrils and or parted lips. As we slow down and relax further, we may be able to notice our heartbeat, our pulse. I also invite you to be aware of any areas of discomfort in the body. And just allowing ourselves to feel whatever's there. We're fairly hardwired to chase comfort and avoid discomfort, chase pleasure and avoid pain. And that keeps us locked into a very mechanical way of living. So one of the great strategies for awakening is to lean into discomfort. And we're not looking for discomfort, but there's always going to be discomfort arising. All sensate experience arises across the spectrum from pleasant to neutral to unpleasant, from comfortable to not so comfortable, pleasurable to painful, and everything in between. That's just part of being alive in a body. So rather than living addicted to pleasure and comfort and actually living in fear or even terror of discomfort and pain, we can make the choice to just embrace the whole thing in an unbiased way. And we're not in no way, shape, or form, we're not punishing ourselves, we're not looking for discomfort, it's just part of our experience. So I invite you to just be aware of any discomfort in the body and allow that to bring you further into the body. As we explore this internal landscape of the body, sensate landscape, we're activating what's called interoception or interoceptive awareness. Which is based on the fact that the entire body is sensory, all the way down to the bones and including the bones, all containing neuronal cells connected to the central nervous system. the bones, the marrow of the bones, the musculature, connective tissue, all the vital organs, viscera, circulatory system, lymphatic system, all sensory. We are a living organism, all sensory. So breath after breath, feeling into the body as deeply as you can. And just with a sense of curiosity, openness, non-judgment, inclusivity, just being curious about what's there and being willing to feel whatever's there. The internal landscape of the body is a vast somatic landscape, limitless, that we can explore and experience at an ever deeper, subtler, and vaster level. And as we do, the deeper we go into the body, we'll begin to tap into a pre-existing internal resonance or coherence. And it'll actually cohere more and become more obvious, more vivid, such that we'll feel an innate flow that's very nurturing, healing, and being tapped into this internal flow, this internal resonance of coherence through interoceptive awareness has been shown neuroscientifically to heal trauma, heal attachment wounds, deepen our resilience, enhance our emotional intelligence, and so forth. And at the same time, by feeling the body deeply, the physicality of the body, inside and out, ever more deeply, we're developing a powerful anchor that anchors us here in the present moment. And again, if you find your mind wandering, it's not a problem at all. Just gently bring your attention back to the body, dropping into the body ever more deeply with openness, curiosity, non-judgment, self-acceptance, and most importantly, curiosity, an almost passionate curiosity to know ourselves as deeply as we can. And the body is a wonderful portal. We can work with all the sense perceptions, but in some way, the body is the most accessible. And it has the advantage of creating this powerful anchor, anchoring us in the present moment. And by bringing awareness, benevolence, loving kindness into the body, we're also engaging in a healing process because, as we know, our trauma is stored in the body, in the nervous system. So I invite you to just continue exploring the internal landscape of your body, feeling enveloped in the external field of sensation, the contact between our body and the space around us, feeling the benevolence of the space holding us, and then within that, feeling the safety to just go deeper and deeper into the body. Now, I do want to say that if exploring the body in this way becomes too difficult for anyone at any point or triggers something that feels unworkable, just open your eyes, shift your attention outwards to the environment you're in, or shift your attention to another place in the body. Please take good care of yourselves and always do the practice within what Dan Siegel calls your window of tolerance, or I know it's often called the zone of resilience. So keep it workable for you. And to the extent that you're able, just continue exploring the internal landscape of the body, feeling into it as deeply as you can. as we all realize, we tend to live our lives pretty much up in our heads. Quite natural because we're very visually and auditorially oriented. We have very busy cognitive minds, so we tend to live up there. So the invitation is really to drop down through the neck and shoulders, upper body, mid body, lower body, really drop into the body and really come home to the body, gathering all the strands of attention, the dispersed strands of attention, bringing them back to the body, really dropping in and returning to our home. Which connects us not only with our body, but with our hearts and with the earth. Neuroscientifically, by emphasizing the body and really feeling the body as directly as we can, we're making a shift from what many of you may have heard of, the default mode network, which has its purpose, but in most modern humans is overactive, and it's the noisy chatterbox part of the brain, ruminating about the past, fantasizing about the future, running commentary about the present. That noisy part of our brain that makes it difficult to meditate when we begin. By focusing our attention on the body, focusing on anything really, but the body is a very directly accessible object of attention. So by really focusing on feeling the body as deeply as we can, we're facilitating a shift from the default mode network to the task positive network, which stabilizes our attention. And those two networks are mutually inhibitory to a degree. So to the extent that we focus, join our mind with the body, the default mode network starts to go offline to a degree, and the task positive network comes online, stabilizing our attention. So we don't have to struggle with thoughts. We're not demonizing thoughts. We're not trying to get rid of thoughts. Just by focusing on our thinking minds are amazing. It's part of our experience. However, an overactive thinking mind can be an obstacle to healing and awakening and so forth. So by focusing on the body, we naturally, the thinking mind, the cognitive mind naturally quiets down, and we're able to drop in ever more deeply into direct experience, focused on actually feeling the sensations, the actual tactile physical sensations that make up the experience we call body, inside and out, from head to toe.
Okay, thank you so much, Fleet. And now we're going to turn to breathwork. So welcome to your daily breathwork, and we're going to be doing this every day of the summit. So at this point, we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit, and so what we're going to do today is a taster session. It'll be about an 8-minute breathing session, just to give you a sense of what's available in my normal longer 60-minute sessions. It's called Neurodynamic Breathwork, and you can find out more about how the longer sessions work and what happens in my talk on day 3 if you're interested. But again, for today, we're going to do an 8-minute taster session, and just a couple minutes of introductions to give you a little bit of information so you can have the best possible experience. And so first of all, for those of you who are really new to breathwork, just to give you a general idea of what it is, it's really just the conscious use of the breath to shift your consciousness to create healing and well-being. And it's been used for millennia. So this is not something new. This is something that's been around for ages, that has been used in virtually all cultures in terms of conscious control of the breath, for self-healing and for self-actualization. And it's, for example, pranayamas in yogic practices. It was used in Buddhism, shamanism, martial arts. So this has really been knowledge that is ancient knowledge that in my own breathwork, neurodynamic breathwork, I've just incorporated the current principles of neuroscience to kind of update it and kind of sharpen its effect. So, all right, so basically today what you want to do is we're going to be doing, again, breathing for about 8.5 minutes. And so you want to be in a quiet space. We're going to be playing music. So if you want to wear like a headset or something like that, or you can use a phone with earbuds or whatever, but it's going to be a closed eye experience. If you want, you can grab an eye mask, but it's not necessary. You can just close your eyes, and it's fine just to sit in a chair. You can sit or lay down, either way. It's totally fine. And the concept is you're going to be doing a breathing technique that will move more air through your system. And what we do is, and for this exercise, you're going to be taking full deep breaths and in and out of the mouth, just so you can breathe more easily and more fluidly. And connected breathing, where you're always going to be breathing in or breathing out. So when you breathe in, your belly expands a bit. When you breathe out, it goes back to normal. And so it should be just an enjoyable breath. So for what we're doing today, you don't want to breathe faster than normal. In the normal breath work, we do breathe a little bit faster. But for today, for this exercise, for this taster session, just full deep breaths. Normal speed is fine. Or even if it feels right to do it a little slower than normal, that's okay too. And you're just going to be focusing on your breath and listening to the music and allowing whatever wants to happen to happen. One of the underlying principles of neurodynamic breathwork is that you already have all the answers within. There's this deeper part of your psyche. Some people, I call it inner guiding intelligence. Other people will call it higher self or connection to source, or I think Joe Dispenza calls it your connection to the quantum field, but it's that deeper part of our psyche that already has all the answers that you need. So during the 8 minutes, I'm not going to be telling you what to do or trying to guide your experience. You're just going to be opening up to this amazing inner wisdom that your body has and just allowing whatever wants to happen to happen. And if your body wants to make a little bit of sound during the session, that's totally fine. Or even if your body wants to move a little bit, just let that happen. So just let life flow through you for 8 minutes. It's very easy, very simple, very beautiful. And so again, the purpose today is not to have this like super deep dive experience, because we want you to be around for the summit and be focused. So, but it is just to get a sense of, even with 8 minutes of breathing, just notice, does your sense of being change? Do you feel more anxious or less anxious? How do you feel different in your body? Okay, so just give you a moment to just get set up and just get ready to, again, we're going to be playing some music, and just trust the process, surrender into whatever wants to happen. So let me get the music shared here. One moment here. Okay. So at this point, again, this is going to be an eyes closed experience. So just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and bringing your attention into your body. Just being with yourself for a moment in a very gentle way. Just watching the breath. And now starting to deepen the breath. Starting to take full deep breaths in and out of the mouth, but just at normal rhythm, normal pace, where when you breathe in, your belly moves out a bit. When you breathe out, it goes back to normal. Just breathing fully and deeply, fully and deeply. Finding a nice rhythm that works for you. It feels good. Breathing fully and deeply, deeply and fully. Eyes closed, being with yourself. Staying with the breath, focusing on the breath. And again, if over the next 8 minutes your body wants to make a little bit of sound or move around a bit, that's totally fine. Breathing fully and deeply, deeply and fully. And in a moment, the music will begin, and just keeping your whole focus on the music, on the breath, and just surrendering to the process. And as the breath gets very gentle in the last minute or two, it's fine if your body just wants to come down to normal breathing. Have a wonderful journey. And now, if you haven't done so already, just slowing down the breath to a normal rhythm, just kind of allowing yourself to be in a gentle space. You're just watching the breath for a moment. If it feels right, keep your eyes closed for another minute or two. And just noticing, does your body feel any different? Just being with yourself in a very gentle way. When you're ready, you can just gently open up your eyes and just kind of stay in a soft space with a soft gaze. And just prepare yourself for your day. And we will be doing these sessions every morning. So hope to see you again tomorrow. And again, wishing you a wonderful day at the summit.